I woke up to the muffled sound of what I could only describe as whispers and soft rustling. It was the middle of the night, and at first, I thought I was dreaming. But the noise persisted, creeping into my consciousness like a sinister melody. My heart pounded as I reached for the lamp on my bedside table. The room lit up, and the unsettling noise ceased instantly. I glanced at the empty space beside me where Sarah should have been. On the nightstand, there was a note. Its casual scrawl mocked my confusion. "Gone for the day. Don't worry, everything's fine." I tried to convince myself it was nothing, just one of those vague, spontaneous decisions Sarah sometimes made. But deep down, a cold, gnawing unease had taken root. The next morning, Sarah returned home, her face painted with a veneer of normalcy that did nothing to alleviate my growing suspicion. The smell of her perfume was still fresh, mingling with the faint odor of another cologne I didn't recognize. Her hair was slightly disheveled, and she avoided my gaze. When I went through the mail later that day, I found it, a letter from our neighbor, Grayson. The return address was his name, and the handwriting was unmistakably his. I felt a shiver run down my spine. I knew I had to find out more, so I began my quiet investigation. Days passed, and my unease only deepened. I started watching Sarah and Grayson more closely. It wasn't long before I saw them together in ways that left no room for doubt. I had always known Grayson as the friendly neighbor with a charming smile and a penchant for gardening. Now, I saw him for what he was, a man who had crossed a line. One evening, under the guise of a casual visit, I slipped into their shared space. What I witnessed confirmed my darkest fears. Sarah and Grayson were in a passionate embrace, oblivious to my presence. Their whispered laughter and caresses were like daggers to my heart. The betrayal was overwhelming. My mind raced with thoughts of retribution. I needed to confront this, not just for myself but to expose them both. The next steps had to be precise and impactful. I began gathering evidence on Grayson. It was a tedious task, searching through public records and sifting through gossip. What I uncovered was a treasure trove of personal and financial missteps. I knew that this information would be pivotal in turning the tables. The opportunity came at the neighborhood council meeting. I stood before the gathering of familiar faces and presented my evidence. The room fell silent as I laid out the facts of Sarah's affair and Grayson's numerous indiscretions. The shock was palpable, and Grayson's face went pale as he tried to mount a defense. My accusations ignited a firestorm. The community buzzed with whispers and judgments. Grayson, now a pariah, was ousted from the neighborhood. The satisfaction of seeing him squirm was fleeting, though, overshadowed by the reality of my own situation. Sarah, unable to handle the fallout, decided to leave. She packed her things and walked out of our shared life without a backward glance. The house, once filled with the echoes of our life together, now felt cold and hollow. In the ensuing silence, I found myself at a crossroads. I couldn't remain in this place where every corner held a painful memory. The weight of vengeance had lifted, but it left behind a void. I needed change, something radical, something that would pull me out of this emotional quagmire. I made the decision to leave. I packed my bags and set off on a journey, seeking new landscapes and new experiences. As I traveled, I began to shed the remnants of my old life. Each new place I visited was a step towards rediscovering myself and finding a purpose beyond the hurt and anger that had once consumed me. Leaving the house felt like stepping into a different world, one where the weight of betrayal and disappointment no longer pressed down on me. I loaded my car with the essentials and set off with a mix of hope and trepidation. The road stretched out before me, an endless ribbon leading away from the life I had known. My first destination was a quaint coastal town I'd always heard about but never visited. It was said to have an air of tranquility, and I needed that more than anything. I arrived in the late afternoon, the sky painted in hues of orange and pink. The town was just as picturesque as I'd imagined, with charming cottages and a sleepy harbor. I checked into a small bed and breakfast with a welcoming host who spoke of local trails and hidden gems. The days in the coastal town began to blur together in a comforting routine. Mornings were spent walking along the beach, the salty air and rhythmic sound of the waves soothing my frayed nerves. I took long, solitary hikes along cliffs that overlooked the endless expanse of the ocean. Each sunset was a reminder of how vast and beautiful the world was, and how much of it I had yet to explore. But the solitude was not without its challenges. I found myself lost in thought, replaying the moments of betrayal over and over. The pain was still raw, despite the fresh start. I tried to push it aside, focusing instead on the new experiences and connections I was making. I struck up conversations with locals and fellow travelers, sharing stories and finding solace in their perspectives. One evening, while chatting with a fellow traveler in a local pub, I learned about a journey to the mountains that was said to be both challenging and enlightening. The idea intrigued me. I had always preferred the sea to the mountains, but there was something about the notion of confronting a new challenge that appealed to me. I decided to set out on this new adventure, hoping it might provide the clarity I needed. The drive to the mountain town was long and winding, the road cutting through dense forests and steep inclines. When I finally arrived, I was greeted by a crisp, cool breeze and the majestic sight of towering peaks. The town was small, nestled at the base of the mountains, with a few rustic lodges and a community that seemed close-knit and welcoming. I spent the first few days acclimating to the altitude and preparing for the hikes. The mountains offered a stark contrast to the coastal town's gentle beauty. Here, everything was rugged and raw, demanding a different kind of strength. I embarked on a trek up one of the more challenging trails. The climb was grueling, but as I ascended, I felt a sense of accomplishment with each step. Reaching the summit was an exhilarating experience. The view was breathtaking, a panorama of jagged peaks and sprawling valleys. It was in that moment, standing atop the world, that I began to understand the magnitude of what I was doing. I was not just running away, I was seeking a transformation. The pain of the past was still there, but it was becoming a smaller part of a larger journey. The days turned into weeks, and with each passing day, I felt a sense of renewal. The mountains taught me resilience and patience, qualities I had forgotten in the midst of my previous life's chaos. I made new friends, people who shared their own stories of struggle and recovery. Their strength was inspiring, and it helped me to look at my own situation with a new perspective. By the time I left the mountains, I felt a profound shift within myself. The journey had not erased the past, but it had given me the tools to face it with a new outlook. I knew that my path was still unfolding, and the horizons ahead were filled with possibilities. With a renewed sense of purpose, I continued my travels, eager to see where the road would lead me next. As I left the mountains, my sense of self had been irrevocably changed, yet the world still felt immense and uncharted. My travels took me next to a vibrant city renowned for its rich history and cultural vibrancy. I hoped that immersing myself in its rhythm would offer further insight and clarity. The city was a whirlwind of energy, neon lights, bustling streets, and a diverse array of people. I stayed in a modest apartment that overlooked a lively square. Each morning, I ventured out to explore the labyrinth of streets, discovering everything from ancient landmarks to hidden cafes. The city's past and present intertwined in a way that was both captivating and overwhelming. In a small bookstore tucked away in a quiet alley, I met a woman named Clara. She was a local artist with a penchant for philosophical conversations. We struck up a friendship that quickly deepened. Clara's outlook on life was refreshingly different. She spoke of art as a means to understand and express one's deepest emotions, a concept that resonated with me. One afternoon, she invited me to an art exhibit showcasing local artists' reflections on personal transformation. The artwork was profoundly moving, each piece a testament to struggle and resilience. As I wandered through the gallery, I found myself confronted by my own feelings of betrayal and loss. Art, in its raw honesty, mirrored my inner turmoil and offered a new perspective on my journey. Clara and I spent countless hours discussing art and life. Her insights challenged me to rethink my approach to healing. She encouraged me to channel my experiences into something creative, something that could serve as both an outlet and a reflection of my growth. It was an idea I had resisted at first, unsure of how to translate my pain into art. Inspired by her encouragement, I began to write. At first, it was just fragmented thoughts and reflections, but gradually, the words began to form a coherent narrative. Writing became a therapeutic practice, allowing me to explore my emotions and experiences in a new light. Clara often read my drafts, offering constructive feedback and helping me find my voice. My time in the city was marked by this creative awakening. The more I wrote, the clearer my sense of purpose became. I realized that my journey was not just about escaping my past but also about forging a new path forward. The pain I had experienced was part of my story, but it was not the whole story. It was a chapter that had led me to a new understanding of myself and the world. As weeks turned into months, I started to see my travels as a metaphorical journey rather than just a physical one. Each city, each encounter, and each moment of reflection contributed to a broader narrative of self-discovery and reinvention. The city's vibrant life and Clara's influence had been crucial in helping me find a new direction. Eventually, I knew it was time to move on. My time in the city had equipped me with new insights and tools, but there were still many horizons to explore. I left with a sense of optimism and readiness for whatever came next. The journey had transformed me, and now, with a renewed sense of self, I was prepared to face the future with an open heart and an eager spirit. The next leg of my journey led me to a region known for its stunning landscapes and rich cultural heritage. I had heard stories of its ancient ruins and picturesque countryside, and I was eager to explore a place that promised both natural beauty and historical depth. The first thing that struck me upon arrival was the sheer variety of scenery. Rolling hills dotted with vineyards, ancient stone villages, and meandering rivers formed a landscape that was both serene and captivating. I rented a small cottage on the outskirts of a quaint village, the perfect base for my explorations. Each day, I would set out to discover the hidden treasures of the region. The mornings were spent hiking through the countryside, where I marveled at the untouched beauty of nature. The afternoons were reserved for exploring historical sites, ruins of ancient castles, old monasteries, and remnants of civilizations long past. There was something profoundly humbling about standing amidst the ruins of structures that had witnessed centuries of history. One particular day, I visited a secluded monastery perched atop a hill. The solitude of the place was palpable, and it seemed to echo with the whispers of monks who had once walked these paths. I spent hours there, contemplating the simplicity of their lives and the profound sense of peace that surrounded me. It was a powerful reminder of the different ways people find solace and purpose. As I continued to explore, I encountered locals who were deeply connected to their traditions. They welcomed me into their homes, sharing stories of their ancestors and the customs that had been passed down through generations. These interactions provided me with invaluable insights into the local culture and its resilience. One evening, I attended a local festival celebrating the region's heritage. The streets were alive with music, dancing, and vibrant colors. It was a joyful celebration, a stark contrast to the solitude I had often sought during my travels. I joined in the festivities, allowing myself to be swept up by the communal spirit and the exuberance of the moment. During the festival, I met a man named Lorenzo who was a historian and a passionate advocate for preserving local traditions. We struck up a conversation, and he invited me to join him on a project documenting the stories and legends of the region. I was intrigued and agreed to help, seeing it as an opportunity to further immerse myself in the culture and gain a deeper understanding of the place. Working with Lorenzo was an eye-opening experience. We traveled to remote villages, interviewed elders, and collected artifacts. Through this project, I learned about the rich tapestry of history and culture that shaped the region. It was a reminder that history is not just about dates and events, but about the lives of individuals and their enduring legacies. As my time in the region drew to a close, I felt a profound sense of gratitude for the experiences and connections I had made. The landscapes had been breathtaking, the history fascinating, and the people incredibly welcoming. This chapter of my journey had enriched me in ways I hadn't anticipated, offering both personal growth and a renewed appreciation for the world's diverse cultures. With a sense of fulfillment and anticipation for the next adventure, I prepared to leave. The experiences and lessons from this place would stay with me, contributing to the ongoing narrative of my journey. As I looked forward to what lay ahead, I felt ready to embrace whatever new horizons awaited me. The journey had been transformative, but I felt a growing restlessness that led me to a new destination, a bustling metropolis known for its innovation and creativity. The city's reputation for pushing boundaries and embracing new ideas was appealing, especially as I found myself on the cusp of a new chapter in my life. Upon arrival, the city's vibrant energy was immediately palpable. The skyline was dominated by sleek skyscrapers, and the streets were alive with a blend of cultures and voices. I settled into a modern apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows that offered a panoramic view of the city's ever-changing landscape. The first few days were spent acclimating to the frenetic pace. I immersed myself in the city's diverse neighborhoods. each offering a unique blend of art, cuisine, and culture. Museums and galleries showcased cutting-edge exhibitions, while the streets were lined with eclectic shops and eateries. Everywhere I went, there was a sense of possibility and innovation. One evening, while attending a lecture on modern art at a local gallery, I met a woman named Emma. She was an art curator with a passion for experimental work and a keen interest in storytelling through visual media. Our conversation flowed effortlessly, and she invited me to collaborate on a project she was working on, a multimedia installation exploring themes of transformation and identity. The prospect of working on such a project was both exciting and daunting. Emma's vision was ambitious. She wanted to create an immersive experience that would allow viewers to engage with the concepts of change and self-discovery in a visceral way. I was intrigued and agreed to participate, hoping it would offer a new outlet for my creative expression. As we began to develop the project, I found myself deeply engaged in the creative process. We explored various mediums, video, sculpture, and interactive elements, and brainstormed how to convey the themes in a meaningful way. Emma's innovative approach challenged me to think outside the box and pushed me to confront my own experiences in a new light. The project quickly became a source of inspiration and fulfillment. Working with Emma and her team was invigorating. Each meeting was a creative brainstorming session, filled with enthusiasm and the exchange of ideas. The collaborative environment was a stark contrast to the solitude of my earlier travels and provided a new sense of purpose. The installation began to take shape, and as the opening night approached, the excitement in the air was palpable. The gallery was transformed into an interactive space, with different rooms and installations reflecting various aspects of personal and artistic transformation. I was proud of what we had created, a reflection of our collective experiences and a testament to the power of creative expression. Opening night was a success, drawing a diverse crowd of art enthusiasts, critics, and locals. The feedback was overwhelmingly positive, and seeing people engage with the installation was a rewarding experience. It was clear that the project had resonated with many, sparking conversations about change and identity that were both profound and personal. As the exhibition continued, I found myself more deeply integrated into the city's artistic community. The connections I made and the experiences I gained were invaluable, further enriching my journey. The city had become a canvas for my growth, and I felt a renewed sense of direction and creativity. As the exhibition drew to a close, I reflected on how far I had come. The journey had taken me from a place of heartbreak and betrayal to a space of artistic discovery and self-realization. The metropolis had offered a new horizon, one that was filled with possibilities and opportunities for growth. With a sense of accomplishment and gratitude, I prepared for the next leg of my journey. The city had been a transformative chapter, and as I looked ahead, I felt ready to embrace the future with renewed energy and a deeper understanding of myself. Leaving the city was bittersweet. It had been a place of intense growth and creative fulfillment, but I felt the need to seek new experiences beyond its confines. My next destination was a remote village in the highlands, known for its isolation and simplicity. It was said to be a place where time seemed to stand still, a stark contrast to the urban hustle I had left behind. The journey to the village was arduous. The roads narrowed to winding paths that snaked through dense forests and steep hills. As I drove further, the landscape transformed into a serene tableau of rolling meadows and ancient forests. The village, nestled in a valley surrounded by towering peaks, felt like stepping back into another era. I checked into a small, rustic inn run by a local family. The inn exuded a cozy charm with its wooden beams and crackling fireplace. The host, an elderly woman named Greta, welcomed me with warm hospitality and a pot of herbal tea. Her kindness and the peaceful atmosphere of the inn immediately made me feel at home. The village itself was a picturesque haven of traditional architecture and timeless customs. The pace of life was leisurely, and the residents, though reserved, were friendly and eager to share their way of life. I spent my days exploring the surrounding countryside, hiking through meadows, visiting ancient stone structures, and absorbing the tranquility that pervaded the area. One morning, I stumbled upon an old monastery perched on a hill, much like the one I had visited in the mountains. This monastery was still active, and its austere beauty and serene setting were captivating. I decided to attend a morning service, drawn by a sense of curiosity and a desire for reflection. The service was held in a small, dimly lit chapel. The monks chanted in unison, their voices creating a hauntingly beautiful harmony that filled the space. The simplicity and reverence of the ceremony struck a chord with me. I sat in silent contemplation, feeling a deep sense of connection to the traditions and the unspoken wisdom of the monks. After the service, I had the opportunity to speak with Brother Lucas, one of the monks who served as the monastery's guide. He was a gentle man with a profound understanding of spirituality and a calming presence. Our conversation delved into themes of purpose, inner peace, and the nature of change. Brother Lucas spoke of the monastery as a refuge not only for the monks but for anyone seeking solace and clarity. Inspired by our conversation, I began to volunteer at the monastery. The work was simple but fulfilling, helping with daily chores, assisting in the gardens, and participating in communal activities. The routine was meditative, and the time spent in service allowed me to reflect deeply on my own journey. One afternoon, while working in the garden, I discovered a hidden grove behind the monastery. It was a secluded spot with a small pond and a few benches shaded by ancient trees. The grove became my personal sanctuary, a place where I could sit quietly and contemplate my path. The peace I found there was profound, offering a counterpoint to the more dynamic experiences of my recent travels. As the days turned into weeks, I felt a growing sense of contentment and clarity. The village had provided a space for introspection and renewal. The slow pace and natural beauty allowed me to reconcile the lessons learned from my journey so far. I understood that while exploration and creativity were crucial, finding moments of stillness and reflection was equally important. Eventually, it was time to leave the village. The tranquility and wisdom I had gained there would stay with me, shaping my perspective as I continued my journey. As I packed my belongings and prepared for the next destination, I felt a deep sense of gratitude for the experiences and people who had contributed to my growth. The highlands had been a place of profound quietude and introspection, a chapter that balanced the vibrancy of the city with a return to simplicity. With a renewed sense of purpose and a peaceful heart, I set out for the next phase of my journey, eager to embrace whatever lay ahead. The next phase of my journey took me to a sprawling desert region renowned for its dramatic landscapes and rich cultural heritage. The stark contrast between the desert's arid vastness and the lush, peaceful highlands I had recently left was both striking and intriguing. I arrived in the heart of the desert, where the sky met the sands in a seamless blend of colors. My base was a small, rustic lodge on the outskirts of a desert town. The lodge was simple but comfortable, offering a panoramic view of the endless dunes. The heat was intense and the air dry, but there was a certain beauty in the vast emptiness that enveloped the landscape. One of the first things I noticed about the desert town was its vibrant community. Despite the harsh conditions, the people were warm and welcoming. The town had a unique rhythm, shaped by its environment. Markets bustled with activity, selling everything from handcrafted textiles to intricate jewelry. The town square was a hive of social interaction, and I found myself drawn to the energy and camaraderie that defined daily life there. I spent my days exploring the desert's striking features, the towering sand dunes, ancient rock formations, and hidden oases. Each excursion revealed a new facet of the desert's beauty, from the serene stillness of dawn to the vibrant colors of sunset. The desert's vastness was both humbling and liberating, offering a sense of freedom that was difficult to find elsewhere. One evening, I attended a traditional festival celebrating the desert's cultural heritage. The festival was a sensory feast, with music, dance, and storytelling illuminating the night. I was captivated by the stories shared around the fire, tales of ancient tribes, desert myths, and legends that had been passed down through generations. The communal spirit of the festival was infectious, and I joined in the festivities, immersing myself in the rich cultural tapestry of the region. During my time at the festival, I met a local guide named Tariq. He was knowledgeable about the desert's history and traditions, and he offered to take me on a special expedition to explore some of the more remote areas. Tariq's expertise and passion for the desert were evident, and I eagerly accepted his offer. Our journey into the desert was both challenging and exhilarating. We traveled by camel, navigating through sand dunes and rocky terrain. Tariq shared his extensive knowledge about the desert's ecosystems, pointing out various flora and fauna adapted to the harsh environment. His insights deepened my appreciation for the delicate balance of life in such an unforgiving landscape. One day, we arrived at a remote archaeological site that had been excavated recently. The site revealed remnants of an ancient civilization that had thrived in the desert centuries ago. Tariq explained that these ruins were a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of people who had adapted to the harsh conditions of the desert. The discovery was awe-inspiring, a reminder of the enduring human spirit and the rich history that lay hidden beneath the sands. As the days passed, I found myself increasingly reflective. The desert's stark beauty and solitude provided a perfect backdrop for contemplation. I began to understand the significance of the journey I had undertaken, not just as a physical exploration but as a journey of self-discovery. The desert, with its vast expanses and timeless rhythms, had offered me a new perspective on life's challenges and opportunities. My time in the desert came to an end, but the experiences and insights I had gained left a lasting impression. The journey through the desert had been a profound chapter in my travels, a period of deep reflection and renewed understanding. As I prepared to leave, I felt a sense of gratitude for the lessons learned and the people I had met. With a heart full of memories and a mind brimming with newfound wisdom, I set out for the next destination. The desert had provided me with a unique and valuable perspective, and I was eager to continue exploring the world with an enriched sense of purpose and clarity. My travels led me to a sprawling archipelago known for its stunning landscapes and rich maritime history. Each island in the chain was unique, offering a blend of natural beauty and cultural heritage. I had always been drawn to the sea, and the opportunity to explore these islands seemed like the perfect way to continue my journey. I arrived on the largest island, where the port city was bustling with activity. The city was a vibrant mosaic of colonial architecture, modern amenities, and maritime traditions. I settled into a charming guest house overlooking the harbor, where the constant presence of the sea provided a soothing backdrop to my stay. Each day, I embarked on boat trips to explore the surrounding islands. The archipelago was a paradise of azure waters, white sandy beaches, and lush greenery. I visited secluded coves, snorkeled among vibrant coral reefs, and hiked to panoramic viewpoints that offered breathtaking vistas of the ocean. One of the highlights of my trip was a visit to a small, remote island known for its traditional boat-building techniques. The islanders had preserved their ancestral craft, creating beautifully crafted wooden boats that were both functional and aesthetically stunning. I spent a day with the local boat builders, learning about their techniques and the cultural significance of their craft. Their dedication and skill were evident, and it was inspiring to witness the continuation of such an important tradition. During my exploration, I came across a small community dedicated to marine conservation. They were working to protect the local marine life and restore damaged coral reefs. I joined their efforts, participating in underwater cleanup dives and helping with reef restoration projects. The work was challenging but deeply rewarding, and it provided a tangible way to contribute to the preservation of the natural beauty that surrounded me. In the evenings, I often attended local gatherings where islanders shared their stories and traditions. These gatherings were filled with music, dance, and folklore that celebrated the rich maritime heritage of the archipelago. I was fascinated by the tales of explorers and seafarers who had once navigated these waters, and I felt a deep connection to the history that had shaped the islands. One evening, as I watched the sun set over the ocean from a cliffside vantage point, I reflected on the journey that had brought me here. The vastness of the sea and the diversity of the islands were a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of all things. The experiences I had gathered, from the tranquility of the highlands to the creative energy of the metropolis and the solitude of the desert, had woven together into a tapestry of self-discovery and growth. As my time in the archipelago drew to a close, I felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The islands had offered a unique blend of adventure, cultural immersion, and environmental stewardship. Each island had its own story, and the collective experience had enriched my understanding of the world and my place within it. Leaving the archipelago was bittersweet, but I knew that the journey had prepared me for the next chapter. The sea had been a place of reflection and renewal, and as I boarded the boat to my next destination, I carried with me the lessons and memories of the islands. With a heart full of gratitude and anticipation for the future, I set sail toward the horizon, eager to continue my exploration and embrace the adventures that lay ahead. After leaving the archipelago, my journey took me to a historic city known for its rich cultural tapestry and vibrant art scene. The city was a melting pot of diverse influences, its streets lined with a mix of classical architecture and contemporary art installations. It was a place where the past and present coexisted in a dynamic harmony. I settled into a quaint apartment in the heart of the city, an ideal spot to immerse myself in its eclectic offerings. Each day was an adventure, filled with visits to art galleries, historic landmarks, and lively markets. The city's energy was infectious, and I quickly found myself captivated by its creative spirit. One of my first stops was a renowned museum dedicated to the city's artistic heritage. The museum's exhibits ranged from classical masterpieces to cutting-edge contemporary art. I spent hours exploring the collections, each piece telling a story of the city's evolution and its role in shaping cultural trends. As I wandered through the museum, I encountered an installation that particularly intrigued me. It was a large, interactive piece that invited visitors to contribute their own thoughts and experiences. The installation was designed to reflect the collective consciousness of the city's inhabitants, and I found myself drawn into the collaborative experience. Adding my own reflections felt like a meaningful way to connect with the city and its vibrant community. In the evenings, I attended various cultural events and performances. The city's theaters, music venues, and cultural centers were always alive with activity. I saw performances ranging from classical concerts to experimental theater, each offering a unique glimpse into the city's creative soul. The diversity of artistic expressions was a testament to the city's commitment to fostering creativity and innovation. During one of these evenings, I met a group of local artists who were working on a community project aimed at revitalizing a historic neighborhood. Their goal was to blend contemporary art with the area's architectural heritage, creating a space that honored the past while embracing the future. I was invited to join their efforts, and I eagerly accepted, excited to contribute to a project that resonated with my own experiences. The project involved various artistic activities, including mural painting, sculpture installation, and interactive art pieces. Working alongside the artists was both inspiring and challenging. We brainstormed ideas, collaborated on designs, and brought our collective vision to life. The process was a blend of creativity and community spirit, and it offered a profound sense of accomplishment. As the project neared completion, I attended a neighborhood celebration to unveil the revitalized space. The event was a joyful occasion, filled with music, food, and a sense of pride in the collaborative effort that had transformed the area. Seeing the impact of our work on the community was incredibly rewarding and reinforced the power of art to bring people together and foster positive change. As my time in the city came to an end, I reflected on the richness of the experiences I had gained. The city had been a place of creative exploration and community engagement, offering new perspectives on the role of art and culture in shaping our lives. The connections I had made and the projects I had been part of were a testament to the city's vibrant spirit and its ability to inspire. With a sense of fulfillment and anticipation, I prepared for the next leg of my journey. The city had provided a dynamic chapter in my travels, and I looked forward to carrying the lessons and inspirations from this vibrant place into the next phase of my exploration. As I left, I felt a renewed sense of purpose and excitement for the adventures that awaited me. Arriving in the ancient city of Jerusalem was a profound experience, a journey into a place steeped in history, spirituality, and cultural complexity. The city's unique blend of ancient traditions and modern life offered an opportunity for deep reflection and understanding. I settled into a guest house within the old city, a labyrinth of narrow streets and historic sites. Each morning, I would step out into the vibrant marketplace, where the air was filled with the aroma of spices and the sounds of multiple languages. The city's rhythm was both frenetic and meditative, a microcosm of human experience. My exploration began at the Western Wall, a site of immense spiritual significance. Standing before the ancient stones, I was struck by the profound sense of reverence that enveloped the area. People from all walks of life were engaged in personal prayers and rituals, adding their notes to the wall as a symbol of their hopes and wishes. It was a powerful reminder of the deep connections people seek through their faith and traditions. From there, I wandered through the labyrinthine streets of the old city, each corner revealing layers of history. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, with its complex mix of Christian denominations, was a fascinating and intricate space. The church's sacred significance was palpable, and observing the diverse expressions of devotion from pilgrims was a humbling experience. I also visited the Dome of the Rock, an iconic symbol of Jerusalem. The structure's stunning architecture and the sacredness of the site were awe-inspiring. The view from the Temple Mount offered a breathtaking panorama of the city, blending ancient and contemporary elements into a cohesive landscape. The area's significance to multiple faiths underscored the city's role as a crossroads of spiritual and cultural intersections. As I delved deeper into Jerusalem's rich tapestry, I made a point to explore its neighborhoods, each with its distinct character. In the Jewish quarter, I encountered a blend of historical preservation and vibrant community life. In contrast, the Muslim quarter's bustling souks and lively atmosphere provided a different, yet equally engaging, perspective on the city. One particularly memorable experience was a visit to the Yad Vashem Holocaust Memorial. The museum and memorial dedicated to the memory of the victims of the Holocaust were deeply moving. Walking through the exhibits, I was struck by the poignant stories of resilience and tragedy. The memorial's design and narrative served as a powerful testament to the importance of remembrance and education. During my stay, I also had the opportunity to engage with local residents and learn about their daily lives. Conversations with shopkeepers, artisans, and scholars provided invaluable insights into the diverse cultural and religious fabric of the city. Each person I spoke with shared their unique perspective on living in such a historically and spiritually significant place. As my time in Jerusalem drew to a close, I found myself reflecting on the depth of my experiences. The city had offered a profound journey through history, spirituality, and culture. It was a place where the past and present intertwined in a way that was both captivating and thought-provoking. With a heart full of gratitude and a mind enriched by the diverse experiences of Jerusalem, I prepared for the next destination. The city's impact on my journey was significant, providing a deeper understanding of the complexities and beauty of human experience. As I moved forward, I carried with me the lessons and reflections from this extraordinary chapter of my travels. My journey next led me to the scenic countryside of Tuscany, renowned for its rolling hills, vineyards, and timeless charm. The region's natural beauty and rich cultural heritage had always fascinated me, and I was eager to explore its landscapes and immerse myself in its serene lifestyle. I arrived at a charming agriturismo, a rustic farmhouse converted into a guesthouse, surrounded by vineyards and olive groves. The tranquility of the countryside was a welcome change from the bustling cities and intense desert landscapes I had previously encountered. Each morning, I was greeted by the sight of mist rising from the fields and the sound of birds chirping, a perfect setting for reflection and relaxation. My days were filled with leisurely explorations of the Tuscan countryside. I rented a bicycle and spent hours cycling through the scenic vineyards and ancient villages. The winding roads offered panoramic views of the undulating hills and picturesque farmhouses. I visited local wineries, where I tasted exquisite wines and learned about traditional winemaking techniques. The passion and dedication of the vintners were evident, and their stories added depth to the experience. In addition to the wineries, I explored several historic towns, each with its own unique character. Florence, with its Renaissance art and architecture, was a highlight. I spent time visiting the Uffizi Gallery and the Duomo, marveling at the masterpieces and the stunning craftsmanship of the cathedral. The city's artistic heritage was palpable, and it was fascinating to witness the enduring legacy of figures like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. Another memorable visit was to Siena, known for its medieval architecture and the famous Palio horse race. The city's cobblestone streets and historic buildings created a sense of stepping back in time. I strolled through the Piazza del Campo, admiring the grand architecture and soaking in the atmosphere of this ancient square. The local cuisine was also a delight. I savored traditional dishes like ribollita and pici cacio e pepe at charming trattorias. During my stay, I had the opportunity to participate in a cooking class at a local farmhouse. The class focused on traditional Tuscan dishes, and the experience was both educational and enjoyable. I learned how to prepare handmade pasta, create rich sauces, and bake fresh bread. The hands-on nature of the class, combined with the warm hospitality of the hosts, made it a memorable culinary adventure. One evening, as I dined al fresco with a view of the setting sun over the vineyards, I reflected on the simplicity and beauty of life in Tuscany. The region's emphasis on quality of life, its connection to the land, and its commitment to preserving traditions were inspiring. The slower pace and focus on savoring each moment offered a refreshing contrast to the more intense experiences of my travels. As my time in Tuscany came to an end, I felt a deep sense of contentment. The region had provided a perfect blend of relaxation, cultural immersion, and culinary delights. I left with a renewed appreciation for the art of living well and the importance of connecting with both the land and its people. With Tuscany's gentle landscapes and rich experiences behind me, I prepared for the next leg of my journey. The insights and memories from this beautiful region would remain with me as I continued to explore and embrace the adventures that lay ahead. My journey next took me to Tokyo, a city renowned for its vibrant fusion of tradition and modernity. The contrast between the serene landscapes of Tuscany and the bustling metropolis of Tokyo was striking, but I was eager to immerse myself in this dynamic urban environment and experience its unique cultural blend. Arriving in Tokyo, I was immediately struck by the city's energy. Skyscrapers towered over ancient temples, and the streets buzzed with the sounds of neon lights and bustling crowds. I settled into a sleek hotel in Shibuya, an area famous for its iconic pedestrian crossing and lively atmosphere. The first thing I did was explore the neighborhoods that defined Tokyo's character. In Shibuya, I joined the throngs of people crossing the famous Shibuya Crossing, a spectacle of organized chaos that epitomizes the city's frenetic pace. The sheer number of people moving in all directions was mesmerizing, and I found myself drawn to the vibrant street life and the multitude of shops and eateries. One of my favorite areas was Asakusa, home to the historic Sensoji Temple. The temple, with its imposing gate and bustling approach, offered a glimpse into Tokyo's rich history and traditions. I wandered through Nakami's Dori, the street leading up to the temple, lined with shops selling traditional snacks and souvenirs. The contrast between the ancient temple and the modern city was a striking example of Tokyo's ability to blend old and new. I also visited Akihabara, the district known for its electronics and otaku culture. The sheer variety of gadgets, games, and anime merchandise was overwhelming. I spent hours exploring the multi-story electronics stores and themed cafes, marveling at the latest technological innovations and immersing myself in Japan's pop culture. A highlight of my Tokyo experience was a visit to the Tsukiji Outer Market, where I sampled some of the freshest sushi I had ever tasted. The market was a whirlwind of activity, with vendors selling everything from seafood to fruits and vegetables. I enjoyed interacting with the friendly vendors and learning about the intricacies of Japanese cuisine. In contrast to the bustling urban areas, I also sought out moments of tranquility. I visited the Meiji Shrine, nestled in a lush forested area. The serene environment of the shrine provided a peaceful escape from the city's hustle and bustle. Walking through the forested pathways and participating in a traditional Shinto ritual was a calming experience and a reminder of the spiritual depth present within Tokyo's modern landscape. Tokyo's nightlife was another aspect of the city that I thoroughly enjoyed. I explored various districts, from the vibrant izakayas of Shinjuku to the chic bars of Roppongi. Each area had its own unique vibe, offering a wide range of experiences from casual dining to upscale cocktails. The diversity of nightlife options reflected the city's dynamic and multifaceted nature. Throughout my stay, I also had the chance to engage with locals and gain deeper insights into Japanese culture. Conversations with Tokyoites revealed a profound respect for tradition alongside a strong embrace of innovation. The blend of ancient customs with cutting-edge technology was a recurring theme, and it highlighted Tokyo's unique ability to honor its past while forging ahead into the future. As my time in Tokyo came to a close, I reflected on the city's remarkable ability to harmonize the traditional with the contemporary. Tokyo had been an exhilarating chapter in my journey, offering a rich tapestry of experiences that showcased both its historical depth and its modern vibrancy. With a renewed sense of wonder and appreciation, I prepared to continue my travels, eager to see what new adventures awaited me. My journey continued as I arrived in the bustling city of Mumbai, a place renowned for its vibrant energy, cultural diversity, and cinematic glamour. The city's intensity was palpable as soon as I stepped out of the airport. Mumbai's streets were alive with a cacophony of sounds, colors, and scents, a sensory overload that immediately drew me in. I checked into a heritage hotel in the Colaba district, an area known for its colonial architecture and proximity to major landmarks. The hotel, with its old-world charm and elegant interiors, provided a comfortable oasis amid the city's frenetic pace. My exploration began with a visit to the Gateway of India, an iconic monument overlooking the Arabian Sea. The grandeur of the arch, built during the British Raj, was awe-inspiring. I joined the throngs of tourists and locals taking in the view, marveling at the fusion of historical significance and everyday life. Nearby, the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel stood as a testament to Mumbai's opulent past, its facade echoing the city's rich history. I spent the next few days immersing myself in Mumbai's diverse neighborhoods. In South Mumbai, I wandered through the bustling markets of Colaba Causeway, where vendors sold everything from vibrant textiles to intricate jewelry. The lively atmosphere of the markets was infectious, and I enjoyed bargaining for souvenirs and sampling street food like vada pav and pav bhaji. A visit to the Dharavi slum, one of the largest in Asia, offered a stark contrast to the city's glitz and glamour. Guided by a local NGO, I gained insight into the resilience and resourcefulness of the community. Dharavi was a hub of small-scale industries, and I observed how residents turned challenges into opportunities. The experience was both humbling and enlightening, offering a deeper understanding of Mumbai's complex social fabric. Mumbai's cultural scene was another highlight of my visit. I attended a performance at the Prithvi Theatre, renowned for its contributions to Indian theatre. The play was a powerful exploration of contemporary social issues, and the intimate setting of the theatre allowed for a deep connection with the performance. Mumbai's dedication to the arts was also evident in its bustling art galleries and music venues, each offering a unique glimpse into the city's creative spirit. No visit to Mumbai would be complete without exploring Bollywood, the city's famed film industry. I took a tour of a Bollywood studio, where I witnessed the magic behind the movies. The sets, costumes, and choreography were all part of an elaborate production that highlighted the industry's influence on both Indian culture and global cinema. Meeting actors and crew members gave me a sense of the passion and dedication that drive Bollywood's success. The local cuisine was a significant aspect of my Mumbai experience. I dined at a range of establishments, from high-end restaurants offering gourmet Indian dishes to local eateries serving traditional fare. Each meal was a culinary adventure, with flavors and spices that reflected Mumbai's diverse culinary heritage. As my time in Mumbai came to an end, I reflected on the city's remarkable ability to blend contrasts, luxury and poverty, tradition and modernity, calm and chaos. Mumbai had been an exhilarating chapter of my journey, offering a rich array of experiences that showcased its dynamic and multifaceted character. With a heart full of memories and a mind enriched by the city's vibrant culture, I prepared for the next destination, eager to embrace the adventures that lay ahead. My journey then took me to the breathtaking landscapes of New Zealand, a country renowned for its stunning natural beauty and outdoor adventures. Arriving in Auckland, I was immediately struck by the city's modern charm and its seamless integration with the surrounding natural environment. The skyline, dotted with sleek skyscrapers, was set against a backdrop of lush green hills and sparkling waters. I began my exploration in Auckland with a visit to the iconic Sky Tower. Standing atop the observation deck, I marveled at the panoramic views of the city and the surrounding islands. The contrast between the urban landscape and the natural beauty of the nearby islands was striking. I could see the sparkling waters of the harbor and the green expanse of the islands that lay just beyond the city. From Auckland, I ventured to Rotorua, a region famous for its geothermal activity and rich Maori culture. The area was characterized by bubbling mud pools, steaming geysers, and vibrant geothermal springs. I spent a day exploring the geothermal parks, marveling at the natural wonders and the surreal landscapes. The sight of geysers erupting and the scent of sulfur in the air were both fascinating and oddly invigorating. In Rotorua, I also immersed myself in Maori culture by visiting a traditional village. I participated in a cultural performance, which included traditional dances and songs, and enjoyed a hongi, a feast cooked in an earth oven. The experience offered a profound insight into the Maori way of life and their deep connection to the land. My next destination was Queenstown, often referred to as the adventure capital of New Zealand. The town was nestled between the Southern Alps and Lake Wakatipu. offering a stunning natural setting for a range of outdoor activities. I embarked on a series of adventures, including bungee jumping, jet boating, and hiking. Each activity provided an adrenaline rush and an opportunity to experience New Zealand's rugged terrain from different perspectives. One of the most memorable experiences in Queenstown was a scenic flight over the Southern Alps. As the small plane soared over the snow-capped peaks and turquoise lakes, I was awestruck by the sheer magnitude of the landscape. The flight provided a bird's-eye view of the dramatic terrain that made New Zealand's landscapes so renowned. After Queenstown, I traveled to Fiordland National Park, home to some of the most spectacular scenery in New Zealand. I took a boat cruise through the majestic Milford Sound, where towering cliffs and cascading waterfalls created a mesmerizing landscape. The tranquility of the fjord and the grandeur of the surroundings made the cruise a highlight of my visit. Throughout my stay in New Zealand, I was continually impressed by the country's commitment to preserving its natural beauty. The emphasis on sustainability and environmental stewardship was evident in every aspect of life, from conservation efforts to eco-friendly tourism practices. As my time in New Zealand came to a close, I reflected on the incredible diversity of landscapes and experiences I had encountered. From the vibrant city life of Auckland to the geothermal wonders of Rotorua and the adventurous spirit of Queenstown, each aspect of New Zealand had left a lasting impression. The country's natural beauty and commitment to preserving it had enriched my journey and provided a fitting conclusion to this chapter of exploration. With a sense of fulfillment and wonder, I prepared for the next stage of my travels, eager to see where my journey would take me next. The memories of New Zealand's stunning landscapes and vibrant culture would stay with me as I continued to embrace new adventures and experiences. My journey next took me to the sprawling metropolis of São Paulo, a city known for its economic significance, cultural diversity, and vibrant energy. Arriving in São Paulo, I was immediately immersed in its dynamic atmosphere, characterized by towering skyscrapers, bustling streets, and an eclectic blend of neighborhoods. I began my exploration in Avenida Paulista, the city's main thoroughfare and a symbol of its modernity. The avenue was lined with imposing buildings, cultural institutions, and a constant flow of people. I visited the São Paulo Museum of Art, MASP, renowned for its striking architecture and impressive collection of Western art. The museum's transparent glass and concrete structure stood in stark contrast to the traditional buildings around it, reflecting São Paulo's commitment to innovation and culture. From Avenida Paulista, I ventured into the diverse neighborhoods that define São Paulo's character. In the bohemian district of Vila Madalena, I wandered through colorful streets adorned with vibrant street art and murals. The area's artistic vibe was palpable, with numerous galleries, studios, and trendy cafes offering a glimpse into São Paulo's creative scene. I enjoyed a leisurely afternoon exploring the local markets, sampling artisanal products, and soaking in the eclectic atmosphere. In stark contrast to the artistic flair of Vila Madalena, I explored the upscale neighborhood of Jardins, known for its luxury shops and high-end dining. I dined at a renowned restaurant, savoring a fusion of Brazilian and international cuisines. The sophistication of Jardins offered a glimpse into the more affluent side of São Paulo, highlighting the city's economic diversity. No visit to São Paulo would be complete without experiencing its rich cultural heritage. I visited the municipal market, a vibrant hub of local life and culinary delights. The market's bustling stalls were filled with an array of fresh produce, exotic fruits, and delectable snacks. I sampled traditional Brazilian treats such as mortadella sandwiches and pastel, and marveled at the variety of ingredients on display. Another significant cultural stop was the Pinacoteca do Estado, one of Brazil's most important art museums. The museum's collection spanned both Brazilian and international art, showcasing works from the 19th century to contemporary pieces. The Pinacoteca's exhibitions provided insight into the evolution of Brazilian art and its influence on global artistic trends. One of the most memorable experiences in São Paulo was attending a live samba performance in the lively district of Bixiga. The rhythmic beats and energetic dance moves were a celebration of Brazil's musical heritage, and the vibrant energy of the performance captured the spirit of São Paulo's cultural scene. The sense of community and joy during the event was infectious, leaving me with a deep appreciation for Brazilian music and dance. Throughout my stay, I also engaged with local residents, learning about their perspectives on life in Sao Paulo. Conversations revealed a city of contrasts, where rapid urban development coexisted with a rich cultural and social fabric. The resilience and vibrancy of Sao Paulo's people were evident in their daily lives, and their stories added depth to my understanding of the city. As my time in Sao Paulo came to a close, I reflected on the city's remarkable ability to blend tradition and modernity. Sao Paulo had offered a multifaceted experience, showcasing its cultural richness, economic diversity, and vibrant energy. The city's dynamic nature had enriched my journey and provided a compelling chapter in my exploration. With a sense of fulfillment and a mind full of new experiences, I prepared for the next stage of my travels. The memories of Sao Paulo's vibrant culture and diverse neighborhoods would remain with me as I continued to embrace new adventures and discoveries.